also said we are not involved. So they're really distancing themselves from this particular incident, and as they have with prior incidents when protests have broken out, they really leave it to local law enforcement. They refer a lot of the media to local law enforcement, and that seems like the way that they handle it. So, of course, this is not a normal way to be treating protesters if you're law enforcement or if you're people in the crowd. But obviously, we're seeing an escalation of tension here when you're at these Trump events, not just from the number and the frequency of protesters and interruptions that we're seeing, but also in the way that crowds are reacting to them and obviously reacting violently.
Ellie Vitale, an embed with the campaign, who has been to many of these, and last night, again, witnessed what we saw here. I also want to bring back Kerry Sanders, because, Kerry, there is this question being raised about why the person who got punched was removed, but the person who threw the punch was not, that there were no charges brought until this video came out that was shot by the gentleman we just saw Kate Snow interview. I know you've talked to the Sheriff's Department. What have they told you?
Well, it's interesting. As Ali mentioned, the Sheriff's Department has now launched an internal investigation. But that internal investigation is only prompted by the fact that there was this video to begin with. And in the video, you don't just see the one officer there from the Cumberland Sheriff's Office, the deputy who is escorting Rakeem Jones out, but there are all other officers in the vicinity. And so initially, the officers are suggesting that they had their eyes down and they didn't see the punch thrown. But once this video was hit on social media, then not only did the Sheriff's Department launch it.
Look at the officer on the upper center right. He was looking directly at that guy when he threw the punch, and he ignored it.
Investigation to find the person who had actually thrown the punch, but then they continued on with this internal investigation, and now the sheriff is saying, Sheriff Earl Butler of Cumberland, saying no one should be subjected to such a cowardly, unprovoked act as that committed by McGraw. That's the gentleman who threw the punch. Regardless of political affiliation, speech, race, national origin, color, gender, bad reputation, prior acts, or political demonstration, no other citizen has the right to assault another person or to act in such a way as this defendant did. I hope the courts will handle this in this manner with the appropriate severity. Okay, so McGraw is now being held on $2,500 bond, but those in the Cumberland community are now wondering, had there not been this video, would we have heard the statement from the Sheriff's Department? Would there have been an investigation? Clearly not, because the sheriff says that it wasn't until the social media video got out that they even know who to go look for, and that there was proof that this happened. And so all of this is fitting into sort of a question, which I think is what you're really asking here, Chris, is why did the Sheriff's Department handle the protester as they were escorting him out as if he were the one who was responsible for the scuffle when he was being escorted out and it was somebody else who sucker punched him?
Now, I got a further question. How did they get that guy this damn fast? Answer: those cops knew that guy, and that's why they allowed him to do what he did, and they didn't take any action against him at that point. It was only because the video went viral that they were trapped into taking action against that guy, and he's out on bail for $250, 10% bail on $2,500.
Chris?
And of course now saying that he should be dealt with appropriate severity. I don't mean to put you on the spot, because I know that these charges were just filed, but how serious are these charges, Gary?
Well, you know, in the grand scheme of things, they're not that serious. It's not as if you're going to see this man wind up spending time in prison and maybe just time served. I mean, you can't assault somebody. In America, you can't just go up and punch somebody, as happened here, but the consequences of a conviction in this case are not that dramatic. I don't know North Carolina law. I can't tell you how much time you may get, but it may turn out to be a small amount of time in jail and then, of course, a record. And it all depends on whether the prosecutor wants to handle this as a misdemeanor charge or a felony charge. And it takes a lot to take it up to the level of a felony charge, although I would say the video will speak very dramatically to that if this ever gets to a courtroom.
Could it be considered a hate crime? I don't know, but we'll find out.
Kerry Sanders. Sanders, thank you. And you see the sign behind Kerry's right shoulder, which says presidential debate. So let's guess what the first question might be to Donald Trump tonight about what happened there and whether or not his campaign bears any responsibility. I want to bring in...
All right, we're going to kill it right there because this is going like extra long. So we'll if anything further occurs, I'll do an additional video.